Hallmark holiday, but we think Valentine's Day, which is Friday, by the way, is just a really great excuse to eat something you love with the people you love. Chef Robert Gambino from Madison's Bonefish Grill joins us in studio this morning. Thank you so much for waking up early. I know chef's hours are kind of almost the complete opposite of ours.
They are usually, you're right.
Okay, but you came armed with a ton of great food. So what are we looking at here?
So this is the salmon caprese. These are some of the Valentine's Day specials. Love is in the air. It's that type of year where you're going to have a surf and turf dish that comes. Chef Justin and Eric Newart down in Tampa Bay came out with these really awesome specials, and they just really touch base on the season and just getting ready for that summer feeling in the middle of winter, I think.
Yeah, and all this fish is fresh. You can feel like a little bit good about eating it. It's
absolutely
healthy for your heart, right?
Yeah.
So what specifically are we looking at?
So this is our salmon caprese dish. This dish is our salmon with gnocchi, roasted tomatoes, and it's a cheese sauce we make in-house. All of our dishes we make from scratch, a scratch kitchen. This is our mahi. I'll show you over here. This is the mahi Oscar. This is going to be on our specials this week. Also, the surf and turf will be on our specials this week. These are things you can create at home. I'd like to show you the chiapino. That dish is something you can make at your local seafood place. You can go get the mussels. You can get any kind of scraps you want to pick up from the store, and you cook it in a good marinara. And the word chiapino comes from chip in, so it's a San Francisco dish.
Okay.
So when the Italians came over to San Francisco, everybody would chip in kind of what they had on their boat, and they would put it together with a red sauce. But that's a very, very delicious dish going, hopefully getting into the spring season.
And it's always great to look at these, and people at home, if you don't love broccoli, you can swap it out for something else. If you don't love a certain type of fish, you can still put the cheese sauce on something else. Do you have any advice for aspiring chefs at home that want to make a Valentine's Day dish for their loved ones?
So, Valentine's Day dish. So a thermidor sauce, if you're going to try and do this at home, you're looking for like a lobster bisque base.
Okay.
You would just make a roux with a lobster base that you can get in your seafood store. Make sure you get the lobster, the crab meat, obviously, and then any kind of cooked filet. We cook all of our seafood and steaks over an Oakwood grill in our restaurant, so it really gives it that enhanced flavor, brings out the flavor in the meat, so the fish and the steak.
And then if people are like me and are afraid that they're going to botch this, they might want to just come to you guys, and they also can get a really good drink at your restaurant. So
absolutely.
What are we mixing up?
So I mixed up, this is the La Fleur.
Okay.
This is our take on the French 75.
What is this?
Yeah, that's our lavender. That comes from the south of France, where the ground is very dry and the air is very dry as well, but it makes for a very pungent flower. So we make the infusions in-house, so we soak the lavender and we make the infusions to make this cocktail. And this is with a Wycliffe champagne on the top, Saint Germain, and we use Reka vodka. Reka is one of the only companies that is powered by Volcano, interesting enough. So.
Oh wow, I'm not
cool.
even sure what all of that means. You're more knowledgeable on this than I am. What's your favorite drink to mix up for people?
My favorite drink to mix up for people, I'd say in Wisconsin, it'd have to be the Old Fashioned. We do it a little bit different in our restaurant, and it's an easy mix. You can do this at home. You just get a little bit of maple syrup. You can use any kind of bourbon that you like. Some people in Wisconsin prefer brandy. The way we perform it, it's a little bit different, so you want to definitely make sure your bourbon is not being bruised, so you want to have like a nice glass where you're not shaking it. You don't want to bruise that bourbon. You want to kind of stir it gently and then get it into a glass.
Okay, and in all your years as a chef, you've been at Bonefish for about 17 years,
absolutely.
you said?
Yeah. Well, the company, yes.
With the company, yeah. So what's the biggest misconception people have about dining out? Because I know a lot of people will go for Valentine's Day.
I would say the consistency of food and flavors. I know we do that really well.
Okay.
We have a very strong brand. We've been around for years. But you can expect the same thing every time you come into our restaurant. We're on the west side of Madison. Bonefish Grill is a very strong chain. It's doing very well for itself. But we see ourselves moving into the future with these dishes, and people are eating more healthy. So it's time to get out and have some seafood.
It looks fantastic. Thank you so much for coming and joining us this morning, Chef. And there's still a half hour of news ahead on News 3 Now this morning.